Fine. So on Friday, I was giving you the walkthrough on basics of Java and JVM. We were looking into the structure of the JVM. What is JDK? What is JRE? Setting up the environmental variables. And then when it comes to Java, we learned about the skeleton of any Java application, right? How it is organized in terms of classes, methods, objects, packages, imports, primitive data type, non-primitive data type, and also I was trying to explain you why object, what is object, how it is going to get created. All these things theoretically I was explaining you last week. Okay, what we will do today is we'll just go on using Eclipse. We'll start creating some Java programs, and this is entirely to get used to this environment, get used to understanding these classes, methods, objects, how a typical developer will handle the development, right? It has nothing to do with we are going to become a developer or we are going to learn in detail about Java or application development. No, we are not in business of that at all, right? Our intention is to know these basic terminologies, how it is going to realistically look in a real project, so that whenever in PE, when we are going to analyze your problems through Dynatrace or JProfiler, it's going to be towards identifying problem with the classes or methods or objects. So once you by yourself, when you create classes or a method or object, then it won't be a black box for you. That is the whole idea about it. Okay, so Eclipse, again, as I said, you can download and then install it in your machine from the internet directly. Okay, and then again, Java is going to be a prerequisite for Eclipse to work, or you can use any other IDE as well. If you are very comfortable with other IDEs, you can use as well. Okay, and also this, whatever I'm going to tell you, right, these are going to be very, very basics. People who are already used to create these programs, right? This will look like very, very elementary. Okay, but still, people who are new to this, idea is for them to get used to this kind of environment. You should be able to start creating some programs, compile it, run it, create the jar files, create war files. So once you are comfortable with this, it's going to be very, very easy. And now, even now, with the availability of your copilots, generative AI tools, creating programs is going to be lot easier for anybody, right? It has now made the ground even for both the developers, also the testers. Okay, without even, once you know a very basics about certain things and you are very smart, right? You would be able to go and create your own applications, programs by yourself, as long as you know what to do. Okay, solving problems, what you're going to solve, what is the requirement, understanding the requirement is very, very important. How to get it done through a programming language, I mean, we don't need to really care about it going forward. That's going to be the future. Okay, the way we are going to use Google, way we have been using Google searches going forward, that's how we are going to use your code companion tools or copilots. Okay, it is going to do a lot of work when it comes to generating code, generating scripts, generating text, etc. Okay, now coming back, which means when developing this program is going to be very, very easy with the any generative AI tools. Okay, so what you do is, once you open the Eclipse for the first time, go and create a new project. Okay, if you go here and then go to the new, and then you can go and create a new project. Okay, and in the project, when you select so after clicking this project, select Java project and then finish it. Okay, now you will get a structure like this. Say for Java Basics is your project name. Okay, you will get a structure like this. you'll have a source. If you have a JRE system libraries, and then if you expand the source, you will here if you see a lot of programs, right? Initially there won't be any program at all. What you do is you go to source, right click it. Okay, 1 second. Okay, yeah. Once you right click it, and then go to the new, and then you can say new class file. So you're going to create a new class file. Okay, so once you click on the new class file, you provide a name for it. Okay, and then include this main method. Always your program should have a main method so that Java will know from where to start the execution. Okay, so the program which you're going to create, if you want to run it directly, you have to have the main method, because you can have n number of Java files, right? Your Java should know from where to start. Okay, so for that you have to have this main method, and then just finish it. Just give some name and then finish it. Okay, now for you to know whether your Eclipse is working fine, your Java is working fine. Okay, what you do is you just go and execute a very simple line of code to print a statement, right? It's very basic thing. If you are in 11th standard, 12th standard, or if you are in college, wherever it is, right? I mean, printing a statement is a basic thing in a hello world scenario. Okay, this is just to ensure that your Eclipse is working fine in your machine. It is able to compile it. It is able to execute it, right? Because you have installed the Eclipse for the first time, your Java is also first time you have installed. Then if you want to know whether the Eclipse is rightly able to get the compiler and execute it, you just go and execute this. Okay, so it has printed it. This means, again, what I'm going to tell is going to be very basics, very basics. Okay, people who are already have done a lot of programs, please bear with us. Okay, now once you know that your Eclipse is working fine, now you can go and start writing some simple programs. Okay, what we'll do is we'll just focus on one single class file. Okay, just one single class file. Okay, so we have been talking about this calculator kind of examples, right? So if I want to do an addition, okay, as I said, a program will have few lines of code to declare your variables. Okay, and then you will have some kind of a computation algorithm to process something, and then it is going to provide the output. Correct. So now this very simple Java program inside your main method. Okay, I'm declaring integers value 1 and value 2, and then I'm adding this and then storing into the your output variable called sum, and then I'm printing it. Very simple additional addition uh, algorithm, or additional addition your summing up the two variables, right? Addition program. Okay, now if you go and run this. Okay, so it is just going to print whatever you have given it here. It has started, and then it is adding two variables, and then it is getting printed here. Okay, now typically in a project, okay, so this is one single program, and then it got compiled into first program to it as a class file. Okay, and then when you run it, it is executing, and then it is providing an output. Okay, .java is converted into a .class, and then we are executing it. It gets executed, and then it is showing you the output. Okay, now typically in any Java project, There are going to be multiple classes, correct? Not just one. Now, the same calculator as an example, let's assume that there is going to be a reusable class file which will take care of doing an addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so you will have two class files. Okay, one, say for example, first program.java, and then second program.java. Okay, two programs. Okay, the second program is a one which is a reusable, which means if I go to collapse all these things, okay, so it has addition, it has subtraction, and it has the multiplications. Okay, three method for three different operation. Okay, if I expand this first method, okay, it will accept two variables or two integer. It will do the addition and then it will return the value. Whoever is calling it, it will return it. Same way, the subtraction, it will accept two integers, okay, and then it will do the difference and then it will print the difference and it will return the difference. Same thing goes with the multiplication as well. Okay, so this is a reusable program, or you can call it as a calculator program. Any other programs can call this method, pass to value, and get the data, get the output. Okay, for example, from the first program.java, okay, now I have the two inputs, value 1, 12, value 2, 10. Now, in order for me to call the method in the second program, I cannot call directly. I cannot call the class file directly. Rather, I'll go and create a instance of that class file, a duplicate of the class file. Don't worry about the syntax and all, okay? We're not here to go and write any Java certification. So we don't need to worry about the syntax, why this is second program, new of second program. This is a syntax to create an object, okay? You're creating a duplicate of second program and you're going to have a name for it. You can give any name to this, my obj, obj1, obj2, or calculator object. You can give any name to it. So once you create a duplicate of a class file, then you can access the method of the second class file by giving my obj dot. If you click my obj dot, it will show you addition, difference, multiplication. Okay, all these things, it will whatever that you can do from outside, it will show. Okay, which means, say if you wanted to do an addition, okay, my obj dot add of, you will pass this to value. Same way, my obj dot difference of to value. Okay, and then you're going to print the output. Okay, so you will have a reusable calculator program, and the first program, you're going to create an object of the class file, and then you will call those method, pass the value, and get the output. Okay, what happens when running this is, you will not run the second program directly. Okay, you cannot run the second program directly. Rather, from first program, you go and run it as Java application. I have started. I'm in the start of the second program method. Sum 1 is 22, and then difference is 2. Multiplication is 120. Okay, so from the first program, it has called the second program, second class files method, It has done the processing, you got the output back. Okay, so that's how in any typical application, be it is a small application or a huge application, there are going to be multiple classes, okay, multiple methods. From one class file, it will call another class files method through an object, and then that method might in turn do a DB call, or it can probably call any third-party service. So it is always going to be kind of a tree structure or a parent child. It will start from somewhere, from there it will go to something else, from there it will go to something else, and then the response will come back to the parent. Okay, so we always refer that as a tree hierarchy. Tree will have multiple branches, right? Branches, sub-branches. Similarly, the call will start from somewhere. It will go to some other program, some other class files method, and then to the DB query, and then to a third party, and then it will come back to the parent, and then it will be sent back to the UI as a final response. Okay. Now, what we'll do is we'll take one more example. I was giving you example of the price calculation of the Amazon products, correct? Now let's take price as another class file. Okay, this price class file, it will do some computation depending upon a product. It will provide you the price. Okay, if it is a mobile, it will do some calculation. It will give the response of the price. If it is going to be a laptop, it will process, and then it will send the price as a response. Okay, now inside this class file, I have just hard coded the cost, but in reality, it might call DB, it might call other services, it will compute some taxes, it will compute some discounts, including everything. The final price will be calculated at the backend, right? Now, this is a reusable class file. Anybody can call this class file, send the product and quantity, send the product and the quantity, and they can get the price. Okay. Now, if I go to the cart.java, okay, in the cart.java, I'm declaring the product as mobile, the string, and then the quantity is 10. Now, to call the class file, I have to call it through a object, isn't it? I cannot call the method directly, so I create this object with the class file name price, some object name equal to new of price. Okay, and then I have this through object. I am calling the price calculation method. Okay, price calculation method. This is the price calculation method. It will expect a product and the quantity. So I am passing the product and quantity, which is declared here. Okay, now after this, okay, so it will send the price and quantity, and then it will get the response back, and then that is getting printed here. Okay, now if I go and run this, product price is 3,000. It is printed, right? Because quantity is 10, and then mobile is the product, and here the cost of mobile is 300, right? So 300 into 10, which is a quantity. So cost into quantity is going to be a final price. So it is printed as 3,000 rupees. Okay, all these are all very simple examples to illustrate in an application there is going to be multiple such Java files, and then it is going to have multiple methods, and from one application you'll be calling from one class file, you'll be calling another class file method through a object. That's how it is going to be. Okay. Let's take another example. Say I was telling you about using a copilot, right? Now, for example, from a Java program, okay, from Java program. So again, this is very important for you to know this, right? If you know what is a requirement, even in your project, right? If you want to automate something, if you wanted to do some processing on some data, some input files, some output files, once you have a clarity on what is expected, okay, this is my input, I need this as an output. Once you know what is your requirement, why are you doing it? Once you can create those instruction properly, then you can get a Python code or a Java code or a JavaScript code through your code companion tool. Okay, that's going to be very, very simple and effective. Okay. So for example, if I want to connect to my database, so we are using MySQL for e-library application, right? So which means if I wanted to okay, you are a Java expert, and can you give me a Java program to connect to a MySQL database? Okay, so all I'm asking is to give a simple Java program to create a to connect to a MySQL database. Okay, so it will give all these things. You just copy it and then go to here, go and click new class file. Okay, you can say that database program. Okay, and then I'll just paste it. Okay, this alone I have to change it to the my program name. Okay, now what it has given is, it has given some imports. Okay, and then it under the main method, it has given the declaration for the URL. So I know my database is library, correct? That is my database name. And username, I know my username is root. And then password is pass at 123. Okay. And then it is giving some code to do a connection. I don't need to even understand the syntax. Okay. It is doing trying to get a connection, and it is using the driver manager class. Okay. Because we have imported some reusables. We are not going to write 1,000 lines of code at all. No way. Any programming language may not keep writing 1,000 lines of code. There are going to be reusable libraries, packages. It's going to be available, which are going to import. Okay. So for this import to work, okay, you need to download a jar file. Okay. So if you see here, it here you might find an instruction on, you should have this MySQL connector Java. This is a reusable jar file that you need to download and then add it. Okay, so if you go and take this MySQL connector jar file and then ask Google to get you jar download, you will get this. You can go and download this MySQL connector. Okay, I have already connected, I already downloaded. Okay, so which means if I go to right click it build path, configure build path. What you're saying is you're going to configure some of these libraries. Okay, I already have my MySQL connector available in my folder. I have already added this to a project. So if for you, you have to download this MySQL connector and then come to the right click and then add it to the build path. Okay, you can say add jar and you can add it. Okay, once you've added, now these imports are already there through which you're trying to do a connection. Now just go and run it. Okay, right click, run as Java application. You might get some errors. It might work, it might not work. It's all okay. You can easily, if you get a error, you can interact with your Copilot or co-companion tool, and you can try to get a resolution, and you can try it out, keep trying it out. It says it is connected successfully. Okay, see if, for example, if you go to my services, and then if I stop my MySQL, okay, now if you're going to run this, okay, now you might get a exception. Okay, so you're getting an exception saying that there is a communication link failure. Okay, so now failed to connect to the database. Now, and it's very, I mean, if you look at the error, it's very straightforward, right? Your database is down, so because of which the connectivity is not happening. Okay, or say for example, another possibility is I'll go and start this, and then I'll say librarian 1234. Okay, database incorrect database name. Whatever exceptions you're getting, if you can't able to understand the exception, you can always again go back to the Copilot or any other code companion tool, and you can interact and get the possible root cause or possible resolutions. It says unknown database exception. Okay, so you might have a requirement to um, read a CSV file. CSV might have multiple columns. You wanted to read those CSV files, or maybe read a JSON file. You can create your own requirement, simple requirement. No need to be a realistic requirement. Okay, reading from somewhere, writing it to somewhere, reading it to from somewhere, writing it to a database, reading it from database, writing it to a text file. You create whatever requirement you want, and then you start writing your programs. You will get a lot of confidence. Okay, and it will be fun as well. You will get a lot of confidence before when you go to PE. If you want to be a performance engineer, you don't need to know, or you don't want to be very good in Java program, but you have to be very confident. Okay, we have to be very confident because and also uh, you have to be open to getting blocked by some problems. Softwares will not work. You will not get everything in Dynatrace or AppDynamics. Sometimes you won't be able to solve the problem also, right? It all will happen, but you have to embrace those things. You have to be open to these challenges. That's a mindset you have to bring in. Okay, not that everybody will be able to solve everything. Okay, and not every environment is going to be same. Every application is going to be different. Initially, there will be a lot of challenges. It will be like a black box only, but you should be open to learn, open to accept these challenges. That is a mindset you have to bring in. Okay, so PE is about not only learning tools and technology and profiling, but it's more about getting into that zone or a mindset. Okay. Another example I can give is, say, in a lot of programs, right? You will have a third-party calls. You will have a downstream services. Application will call another microservices or another Java services, or it can be Python API, whatever it is, right? Now, if I again go and ask Copilot, okay, can you generate a Java program to connect to a third-party API call? Okay, say https facebook.com, for example, any website. Okay, so it is saying Facebook is not an API call, it's an website. It's okay. Okay. So now you go and copy it. I'll just change this to HTTP call because my program name is HTTP call, so I'm giving the same name. Okay, and if it is asking you to download any jar file, no, it is not saying. Do I need to download any external jar files? No external jar is required. Okay, by default, standard Java library works out with the JDK. Okay, so not required. So now if you go and run it, it's just going to do a get call to this facebook.com, or it can be any API endpoint, and it is going to get the response code. Okay, response code is 200, and it has given the response body as well. Okay, all these basic examples of how you can connect to a database from your Java program, how to make a HTTP call from a Java program, how to call one class from another class file. All these things are all very, very small basic things. But once you have a hands-on on this, once you practice it, it's very, very important for you to get that confidence. Okay. Okay. Now, all these, though it is a very small programs, all these are available in the drive as well, in case if you wanted to access it. Okay. If you go to the drive and if you go to the Java programs in my folder, you will get all these programs. Okay. You can download and use it, or you can very well create your own program as well. Okay. I'll pass it here. There are, I think, few people who have joined at the last minute today, and they're yet to get access to the drive. They are yet to set up all these things. So I don't want to proceed further. Okay. We will start with the PE, the first topic of performance engineering, uh, the response time analysis, right? That will start tomorrow. Meanwhile, people who have joined, registered, made payment, not got the access, just ping me your email ID. If you have done it already, fine. If not, just send me that your email ID in the WhatsApp group. Okay, I'll give it right away after the call. And yeah, I'll pass it here, guys. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, Satish, one question. So, I was installing a Tomcat server yesterday, and in the last class, you informed about the heap configuration parameters in the Catalina file, right? But the version which I've downloaded and installed, so in that I don't see that XMS or heap out of memory. All that heap configuration was not available in that.
Okay, you can add that. If it's not there, you can
Okay.
very well go and add those lines.
Okay.
What you can do is you can refer to my configuration file in the drive. Okay, if
Okay.
you go to that share drive, and then under the Tomcat folder, you can download, and then from there, Katrina file, right? You can copy paste to your folder. But I think at least the XMX thing might be there, is what I guess. If it is not there, you can copy it.
Okay. Okay. So in the Google Drive, which folder I need to navigate to?
In the main folder itself, you will have something called Tomcat. If you just go and search for Tomcat, you'll get it.
Okay, yeah, it is the Tomcat newt.zip.
Yeah. You can
Okay,
download that, and then you can refer to that file and copy it to your folder.
okay, sure.
Uh, Satish, can you show how to add the jar file? Actually, I missed that while
Okay, sure.
adding.
Sure. Just give me 1 second. One minute. Let me share the screen again. See, there are multiple ways to handle these dependencies. We call it as a dependencies. Okay. One of the ways is to directly download the jar file, and then you come to this program, right click it, and then go to the build path. Right click on your project or your that particular Java file. Okay, and then go to the build path and then configure the build path. Okay, and then here under the Java build path, go to the libraries. Okay, and then add external jars. You might have downloaded the jar file from the internet and you would have stored it in a particular directory, right? Go to the directory and then select this jar file and then say open.
Okay.
And then it will get added, apply and close. Okay. See, some of the enterprise project, right? They will not add this jar directly. There are other way to maintain dependencies through Maven and Gradle. Instead of you directly downloading it, you'll be accessing those the jar file name and version. So runtime, it will go and fetch those from a particular web directory or the internal directory. But your programs should know where is these jar files. So physically also you can add it like this.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll stop it here, guys. We'll stop the session today. As I said, people don't have an access and got registered. Just ping me right away in the WhatsApp group. I'll give the access today so that you can set it up before the session starts tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, guys.